the government created this agency to unify all the digital issues that before was independently in each department of the government. I believe that leadership is a process in constant construction, in which there is always room for improvement and evolution. I am demanding of myself, and I like to think that I can go one step more in being a leader. I believe that any leadership must be based on closeness and human treatment. I admire other people who gave everything without asking for anything in return. Now everybody wants something in return, and in the past, older people who worked a lot, they never asking for anything in return, and this value is missing now.
This is CIONET TV. My name is Hendrik Deckers. I'm here today with Raúl Jiménez, who is the Managing Director of the digital agency of Andalusia. A very warm welcome, Raúl.
Hello, Hendrik. For me, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you.
Raúl, you have a degree in telco engineering from the University of Malaga and an MBA from ESESA. You started your career as a commercial engineer at Ikusi in 2005, and you moved to the public sector in 2013, where you held various positions in the government agencies in Malaga. And you became the MD of the ADA, the Digital Agency of Andalusia, in 2021. So Raúl, tell us a little bit more about yourself. What's really your background and how did you arrive in this position?
Well, I started in a private company, in a Basque private company from ICT. It's the most business they did. And later I incorporated with the mayor of my city for his team, like a technical position, and later I grow at the city town, and I was the leading of some companies, public companies, for waste, water management, clean the city, clean the cities companies, and I have a good experience. And later we came here to the regional government, and now I am the managing director of the Andalusia Digital Agency.
Okay, and so the Digital Agency of Andalusia, tell us a little bit about that, and maybe also explain a little bit Andalusia. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world, one of the most beautiful regions, of course. So tell us a little bit about Andalusia and about your agency.
Okay, Andalusia, let me put context in Andalusia. We have more than 8.5 million inhabitants. It is the largest region in Spain in terms of population. We are in the south of Spain. It's larger than some EU member states, and we have a lot of competencies such as education, health, justice, social services. We are more than 300,000 employees, and in the last 1.5 years ago, the government created this agency to unify all the digital issues that before was independently in each department of the government.
So, Raúl, tell us a little bit more about the agency. What is it why is it created? How big is it, and so on?
To carry out this task, we have needed to unify all the human resources, technical resources, expertise, and budget for digital issues of the different government departments that previously operated independently. Thanks to this strategy, our agency now includes more than 1,200 IT professionals with a budget of 1 billion euros over the next 4 years, including EU funds, of course. And the creation of ADA allows us to improve the management of EU funds, leverage economies of scale, improve efficiency, increase bargaining power, and attract investment from the sector to our region. Without doubt, our team of professionals is the main protagonist of our organization. They have a high level of IT knowledge and a vocation for public service, who for the same time and working under the same organizational management and sharing the same mission. They are carrying out a true revolution in public administration with a cultural and management change that is supported by digitalization and a new vision to know how technology can get excellence in public services.
Okay. So it's quite unique that you have built one agency that combines all the digital functions for the different public companies. So that's, for instance, here in Belgium, we don't have that. And I think it's a great idea to organize things like that. So tell us a little bit more about the objectives of the digital transformation.
Okay, first of all, the first thing we want to do is to try to convince all the business that technological is a used tool to get excellence. One of our objectives is the digital transformation of the regional government, and we are transversal to all the departments of the regional public administration except health. To this end, we work in collaboration with all the departments that have competencies in these areas, providing them for the first time in a centralized manner with the resources and technical solutions necessary to provide this service in a more agile, secure, and efficient way. In general, any organization is reluctant to change, and even more so if they require the use of tools that are not common in the traditional business. And that is why coordination and communication is a key task. On our part, knowing how to understand the needs of the business, and on the other hand, trying to propose technological solutions without inviting or overcooking the space of the business we want to transform.
Okay. Now let's talk about, so it's the goal is to support the different functions with digital tools, platform standards, and so on. So tell us a little bit about some of the major achievements that you've been working on. And I know that you have built a center, a separate unit for intelligent automation. So why have you implemented, what was the problem, the topic, why did you do that?
Yes, the origin of this project was the urgent need that the Department of Equality and Social Policies presented to us to be able to pay the non-contributory pensions. Here we have in Andalusia that more than 100,000 citizens should receive during the global pandemic crisis. Non-contributory pension for retirement and disability have been provided for all people who lack enough resources. Therefore, in a stress situation of the global pandemic, with remote staff and closed offices, it was of vital importance to meet the necessary review and administrative control deadlines so as not to harm a very vulnerable group of Andalusia society, to ensure that it could receive the social aid on time.
Okay, so hundreds of thousands of people that needed to get their funds in a crisis situation, so you needed to automate things because, I mean, you were under stress and so you... new technology came to the rescue. So can you talk a little bit about that?
First of all, we analyze the need and we create a specific team for the implementation of an innovative technology aimed at process automation. Thus, the Intelligent Automation Unit was set up with particular emphasis, not only, but particular emphasis on RPA technology. This unit took the Conan project, this was the name of the project, for the annual control of non-contributory pension, implementing in coordination with this department as the 8th provincial delegation. Thanks to the intelligent automation implemented through RPA technology, we managed to increase operational efficiency in the provision of public services and the reliability and agility of the administrative process, managing to meet the deadlines established before the COVID-19 crisis. And one of the key of the success of the project has been the coordinate between the two organizations and the satisfactory response from the other to the specific needs raised. I can say that they believe in us and now they believe in this technology.
Yeah, so you set up this unit for RPA. I understand using the UiPath technology, so to automate back office processes and so on. So can you tell us a little bit about the results of this Conan project?
Okay, in the case of exactly Conan project, between January and February and November, it was possible to robotize the annual control of 53,000 non-contributory pensions in Andalusia in record time, in a context of obstacles due to confinement, the difficulties in implementing teleworking, and the lack of time to incorporate and train new staff on time. In total, at the end of the project, 600,000 consultations carried out, more than 93,000 hours saved, which managers were able to devote to more value-added tasks, and 1.1 million euro was saved. The current projects involve an investment of only 44,000 euro, which can amortize it in the first 2 times of implementation.
Wow, that's quite impressive. Eh? So you only spent 44,000 in expenses in technology, and you saved $1 million.
Yes.
So well, that's quite successful.
Yes, we had another case. It's not so cheap. Another recent success of this specialist unit has been the implementation of RPA from the management of to the self-employed, with an investment of over 8 million euros. In total, we managed that amount of euro and gave it 18,000 workers that work with a cost saving of 1.3 million euro saving, more than 100,000 working hours to be free up, the equivalent more or less to 238 civil servants. And perhaps for me, the main success has been that a methodology from the automation of processes can be created, which allow to speed up the implementation of other robotization initiatives in our regional government.
So Raúl, great success with implementing a unit around intelligent automation and RPA. Another accomplishment that you and the teams have realized is the implementation of a government app. Tell us more about that.
Yes, to offer new ways of relating with citizens, promoting concrete and useful solutions that would facilitate the provision of public services with the user at the center of the design. And it's the same time fulfilling the following objectives: improve the quality and accessibility for public services, reducing costs and facilitating transactions between administration and administrators, a more open and transparent public sector.
Okay, and how did you go about that? Who was involved? How did you solve that problem?
Okay, so since the birth of e-government in the Junta de Andalucía, we have been working on building the technological pieces to complete the puzzle of digital administration. A continued work that must face the emergence of new regulations, new components, a continuous and incessant and technological evolution. In this immense challenge, a catalog of digital tools have been developed, and this is now operational. And I want to remark.
Yeah, maybe give some examples. Yeah.
Two of them. Citizen folder, Carpeta Ciudadana here. This app was created to promote and simplify the electronic relationship with citizens. Carpeta Ciudadana allows each user to have all their personal information available at any time and from any device. All kind of information can be consulted from medical, academic, and tax. And in the last update, you can receive notification in case of any news or modification of the user's information. And the other one is interoperability platform, SCSP. Sometimes, normally, businesses and citizens have to submit documentation when carry out procedures that they had already submitted to the same or to other administration bodies. This platform eliminates paper certificates in favor of electronic ones and allows administrations to consult citizens' data held by other administrations. In this way, this presentation of documentation is supported by the telematic channel, avoiding duplication and unnecessary journeys.
Okay, so this government application that is used to create a folder for all the documents of all your citizens and an interoperability of different services. Can you describe us a little bit the results? What are really the tangible results out of this app?
Citizen folders, Carpeta Ciudadana here, has reached almost 2 million accesses and almost 1 million users of a total population. We have 8.5 million inhabitants, but 1.5 million are under 18. So our maximum numbers of users could be 7 million. And SCSP, during 2021 alone, more than 7.3 million consultations were made using this system, and with an increase of 15% compared to 2020 and 214% compared to 2019 before COVID-19 crisis.
Yeah. And like you said, Andalusia is almost like a country. Eh? It's 8.5 million citizens. It's almost as big as Belgium. So it's a big region. So can you describe a little bit how, in general, how IT and digital is organized in the government of of Andalusia.
Okay. Until the creation of the Digital Agency of Andalusia, the different ministries operated independently in the design, resources, and management of projects related to technology and digitalization. Our first objective was to unify and centralize the tasks related to the digitalization of the Andalusian public administration in a single entity. This allows us to optimize the technological and human resources at our disposal. But the keys to our organization are summarized in 3 strategic objectives. Digital society, where we want to improve the digital relationship with citizens through the use of a unified omnichannel platform centered on citizens. To train the Andalusian population in digital skills, thus reducing the digital divide, and to improve the mechanisms necessary to disseminate public information and enable citizens' participation in public policies. The second one is the digital administration, to streamline business processes by applying intelligent automation technologies, improve decision-making based on advanced data analytics, creating a user-centered culture of technological innovation to develop ideas, challenge projects, and innovate programs, and to promote the use of e-administration.
Okay, so the digital society, and the digital administration. What was the third key objective of your program?
Yes, one is the first one is outside from citizens. The second one is inside, from inside the administration, and the third one is the cybersecurity infrastructure and digital workplace. It's common. Increasing the cybersecurity maturity in Andalusia, implementing the digital workplace, and defining and implementing the journey to the cloud. We both externally and internally, we are an organization that integrates a clear and transparent communication strategy in the performance of our function, both towards the public, with a very active presence in social networks and press, and towards the employees themselves, with a very specific action aimed at information and collaboration.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about data. It's becoming so important. I can imagine that the government organizations, you have so much information about your citizens. So what are you doing together with your teams to make Andalusia a more data-driven region?
Yeah, the Andalusia regional government works with a data-driven model. The administration works with an enormous amount of citizen data, which leads us to propose 2 key lines of action based on this model. The first one is against cybersecurity, but in other side, as a public administration, our objective is to watch over the citizen, so digital public services must guarantee the protection of information and the security of each person's digital identity. That is why we have an Andalusia cybersecurity strategy that sets out our roadmap of this area. And we have set up the Andalusia Cybersecurity Center, which is responsible for its implementation and for dealing with possible threats. Data to offer more and better services based on real needs. 2 projects can be highlighted of this line. Open Data Program has its main objective transparency for effective accountability, innovation and economic growth. In the knowledge economy, the availability of data is key to design of public and private products and services. Efficiency and effectiveness of the administration, and inclusion and empowerment. Access to information that enables citizens to participate in public activity.
Yeah, I can imagine that open data is very important, and so you have so much data on the citizens, and then making the important parts that should be public available to everybody is very important. What are you doing in the area of data analytics?
Yes, we create units in each of the regional ministers. This area is directly linked to robotization and artificial intelligence projects, which enables not only the implementation of services that provide better response, but also those that we are capable of predictively anticipating the needs of the population. We want to aspire to that and to change from an old model where citizens move it to the administration to a new model where it's the administration treated the information we have of them and can anticipate their demands.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about yourself. So how would you describe your role? What's basically your key role in the organization today?
Oh, my main role is to define the roadmap to achieve a 100% digitalized Andalusia by 2030, to ensure compliance with this action plan and to detect any needs that may arise. Bearing in mind that this action plan is transversal to all the departments and areas of action of the regional government Andalusia. An important part of my work is dedicated to bringing together the different work teams into which the ADA is organized and to coordinate it with the rest of the department. And this is essential to work together with my Director General of Digital Strategy and her General Subdirectores. Undertaking this action plan would not be possible without a structural and strategic shift towards digital. I believe that a fundamental part of my task is to bring to the regional government this new perspective that links technology with sustainability, efficiency, optimization, and humanization, using technology as a smart tool to get excellence in public services.
Yeah. So in fact, you're kind of like the CIO of Andalusia, so where you set up the standards, you create units for automation, work with data, create a roadmap for digitalization. So, and you've been in the business quite some time. So how would you look at the role of the CIO? How has that, in your view, changed in the last 10 years or so?
See, the first thing to notice is that this change has occurred at the same time, at the same pace as the sector and its advances. CIOs have experienced a transformation of our profiles when these were still being defined in some organizations. We have gone from a technical role closely linked to production, its mechanisms and results, to a more strategic and transversal role linked to the company's philosophy, the corporate culture of the teams, and the approach to work. The use of big data or AI will move the role of the CIO closer to the business.
Okay, I absolutely agree. Now let's talk a little bit how you manage and how you build your team. So how would you describe your management style?
I fully share the idea that the best leadership is in a team. I believe in the strength of people when they work in a common project, in the sum of skills, abilities, and attitudes as the best formula for success. I am fortunate to have such a team, which is a participant, a protagonist, and the best advisor to move forward day by day. In our organization as large, with as many projects as ADA, delegating is one of the keys. This requires trust, the knowledge that beyond organizational hierarchies, we are all working towards a common goal, and the resources to enable people to give their best.
Okay, and what would you say is your secret in building successful teams?
I believe that in the case of the Digital Agency of Andalusia, we work with three keys: collaboration between people and involvement in projects, the implementation of digital tools that streamline work processes, facilitate management, and enhance the work and knowledge of each person, and confidence in the good work and professionalism of the team.
Okay, and how is it that, and how difficult, how easy is it for you to attract, to motivate, to grow and retain your people?
This is one of the most important problems in the sector now, no? But we try to value the personal. We are aware of the increasing importance of the soft skills that enable people to successfully integrate into work environment. By promoting training, education, and continuous updating, we want people to have a personal and professional projection. With information and participate communication, we are very active in social networks where we visualize the talent of our professionals, always highlighting their knowledge and making them the protagonists. In September 2021, we launched the Digital Capsule program, an initiative that promotes internal knowledge by giving technical talks to other colleagues about their projects and a specific subject or relevance in which they are specialists. No official barriers. Yep. We are a very dispersed team with professionals in all provinces, but our work methodology means that it's not an obstacle for our professionals to be able to participate in large projects, even they are not located in the work centers of the agency mates headquarters like this. But it is very difficult in public administration, at least in Spain.
So Raúl, we talked about your management style and how you build and make your team successful. Let's talk about leadership. What kind of a leader are you, and can you give an example of your leadership style?
Well, I believe that the leadership is a process in constant construction, in which there is always room for improvement and evolution. I am demanding of myself, and I like to think that I can go one step more in being a leader. I believe that any leadership must be based on closeness and human treatment.
Okay. Now, my favorite questions in these interviews is the following, and that is, well, if you are not around, and if I would go to your people, what do you think that they will say about you when you're not there, when having a coffee together?
It's a good question. I wish I knew. I really don't know. I would like them to say that I am a good person, that I take care of my team, and I work hard on projects as a team member more.
Raúl, you have shared with us that your MBTI personality type is ESTJ, also known as the executive, and that's somebody with extroverted, observant, thinking and judging personality traits. And these are typically people that possess great fortitude, they empathically follow their own sensible judgment, and they often serve as a stabilizing force among others, able to offer solid direction amid adversity. So people with your personality type, they typically are dedicated, they're strong-willed, they're direct and honest, loyal, patient, reliable, and they like to create order, and they like they're excellent organizers as well. Is that something where you recognize yourself in, and which one stand out for you?
Yes, that I can recognize perfectly in that definition. I am so surprised with the definition of the personality test. So I consider I'm a pathetic person. I who like to listen to others, and I am looking for a good atmosphere in the work environment. No? I want to listen everybody. I want to ask for some different opinions, and when I listen each opinion later, I would like to create my own criteria. But it's important to create the good atmosphere that we can feel the trust, and if in this organization, for example, that is so big, you have to trust in people and to create that atmosphere that special vinculation could create, not only at the laboral, also in the personal, that personal climate.
So Raúl, the flip side of strengths are weaknesses, development areas, and so people with your personality type they can be very inflexible or stubborn. They can be uncomfortable in unconventional situations. They can be judgmental. They can be sometimes too focused on social status. They can have difficulty to relax or difficulty to express emotions. Do you have difficulties to relax or to express emotions?
Yes, I have. Yes, I'm sure.
Tell me all about that.
Yes. It's very difficult to me to express my emotion. This is past me not only at the laboral, at the professional. This is a more problem maybe in the personal life. That is difficult to me to express myself, and sometimes another defect could be I can relax when I am holiday. I am hiding my mobile phone if I have an important email or no. So if it's very difficult to me unplug and relax at home.
Okay. And how is it? I mean, outside you're very driven, you're very focused on work, on the results, on building a team and so on. But what is it that you do outside of family, outside of work? How do you relax? What are your personal passions?
It's a pity. Sometimes I think it's a pity I don't have a real hobby. I would like to have a real hobby, to try to unplug and to make my free time, my personal free time. But the reality is that it doesn't occur.
So Raúl, do you have a personal mantra, and how do you use that?
Yes, like the song, I would like to say, live and let live. I believe in people, and that's why I tend to trust them. If we create the right environment, the good background of people always hang out. This is true.
Okay. Now, I believe that success has to do with personality and has to do with how you think, how you're wired, and has to do with the core values that you stand for. So, how would you describe your core values? And so I know that you have 2 children, a daughter and a son. What are the core values that you live by and that you're passing on to your children?
Yes, I would like they can learn generosity, hard work, loyalty is important, respect, kindness, and humility. But I say always them that they can be whatever they want to be. This is important. They have the opportunity to be whatever they want to be, and this is not everyone doesn't have that opportunity, but they do. So it's important they can understand this message.
So in your life, do you have important mentors? Are there people that you admire or people that you look up to? And could you give maybe an example who that is and what you learned?
I admire other people who gave everything without asking for anything in return. Now everybody wants something in return, and in the past, older people who worked a lot, they never asking for anything in return, and this value is missing now. And my mentors, undoubtedly my parents, and professionally, like I said before, I was working with the mayor of my hometown, and he taught me that you have to aspire to the excellence, to get the excellence. You have to aspire the best, and they told me that message I accompany with me always.
Yeah. Now you have 2 children, so I can imagine that some of the best thing that has happened to you was to have 2 beautiful children.
Yes.
But we're not always lucky in our life, so we also encounter some bad things. So, would you mind sharing with us what was maybe one of the worst thing that has ever happened to you, and how did you overcome that, and what did you learn from it?
So I am very lucky man. I am fortunate in life. I don't have experiences that market me. I have some tense episodes, but that I always overcome because I had a clear concept that I had done everything with the best intention. So, but the first idea is I'm a lucky man. The life treats me very well.
So on the professional level, we have successes, but we also have our failures. Would you mind sharing with us what was your most brilliant failure and what you learned from it?
I had a tense episode with my boss. He transferred me to a department where I thought it was a punishment. And it was precisely the place where I learned the most as a person. That was very important for me because I can grow and could be a better person.
So Raúl, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure speaking to you, although we can't get together, but I'm looking forward to meeting you soon in the beautiful Andalusia. To finish up, we have young, ambitious future digital leaders that are watching these interviews. What is the advice that you would give to these younger professionals that want to follow in your footsteps? Okay, for young people, I would like to say that is how fun life could be if you learn to create something and share it. I think this one of the most important difference between this generation to other generation. Now it's easier to get success sharing than competing, and it's important they can know that. Okay, super. On that advice, on that note, thank you so much, Raúl, for your time. It was a great interview. See you soon. Thank you so much. Thank you to you.